Meredith with ExtremeTerrain, and today I am here with Adam. We're going to talk a little bit about your Tacoma Sport. So thank you first and foremost for joining with me today and talking to me about this.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
As an overview of Adam's build, he has a 2021 Tacoma Sport with 17 by 9 inch Pro Comp 32 Series Bandito flat black 6-lug wheels with a -6mm offset, giving the truck an aggressive stance. He also has two 65/70 R17 Falken Wildpeak AT3W all-terrain tires, which are equivalent to a 31 by 10.5 and stock suspension. Can you tell me why you chose this setup in particular?
When I bought the truck, I had always intended on getting, some more custom wheels versus the factory ones. So I looked forever. I couldn't really find anything that I liked that looked good on that truck. And what I liked about ExtremeTerrain was I could go on your site and compare different wheels and what it looked like on my truck with the colors. So I think I was just browsing the internet and got to your site and started looking at wheel setups, and I found another truck similar to mine with that specific wheel and tire, and I thought, wow, that looks great. It's just like an aggressive look that I was looking for. I like the flat black look because the rest of the truck has kind of the blackout emblems, and the tailgate emblem is black, and so I just really like the look of it and how it set the truck, and it gave it a little bit of a wider stance.
Now, what do you use your truck for? Do you do any off-roading? Is it a daily driver? Is it a weekend warrior?
Pretty much a daily driver. Sometimes go off-road a little bit when we're deer hunting, things like that, but most of the time it's just daily driver.
Let's start off with getting into the details about the wheels. Just as a reminder for everybody, they are the 17 by 9 inch Pro Comp 32 Series Bandito flat black wheels with a -6mm offset, giving the truck an aggressive stance. You told me a little bit about your thought process when it came to a wheel. Why did you choose this particular wheel?
I really like the old school pattern of the wheel itself. I'm kind of older, so I remember cars and some of the Jeeps back in the day had wheels like that, kind of the smaller triangle pattern around. So that's kind of why I gravitated towards that. And just the look of it. It looks good with the tire against the truck. Just kind of a basic pattern, but yeah, that's kind of why. I just remember cars from when I was a kid that had those same kind of wheels.
And then you said the flat black was really to match every other accent. I can see what kind of theme you're going for with the black accents on the silver body of the truck.
Yeah, and plus it's easier to keep clean, I guess. The flat matte black, it doesn't show up all the brake dust and everything that you would get, with some other rims.
Now, is there a reason why you went with Pro Comp in specific?
When I looked at the other trucks and I was comparing the wheels, that one really stood out to me. And the price was within my range, so it wasn't, super on the high end of my budget, but it was right kind of in the middle. So I thought, well, I'm going to get a great wheel for, a decent price, and it looks good on the truck. So yeah, that's kind of how I got to that point with that specific rim with the Pro Comp.
When it comes to the 9-inch width paired with the -6mm offset, it gives the truck an aggressive stance. Why did you go with that combo? Is there a particular reason?
I wanted the wheel to stick out a little bit past the fender well, just a little wider, because I thought it would look like I said, the stance widens up a lot on it, and it's helped with handling too. It seems to handle better with the wider tire on there with that offset specifically. So it was look and I think handling too. And again, seeing the other trucks on their site with that stance, that's kind of another reason why I went with that.
Now, are you happy with the sidewall size as far as the 17-inch wheel is with the 31? Do you think it gives it enough sidewall for that aggressive look that you were going for?
Yeah, the only thing that I had to do with that in the front was there was a little piece in the fender well. It's like how it's molded from the factory. There's a bevel that comes up that the tire was kind of rubbing against. The only thing I had to do was I took a screwdriver and I pushed it in. So I didn't have to cut anything. I just pushed that little section that was sticking out in the inner well, and everything was fine after that.
Well, let's talk more about the tires. So again, you have the 265/70 R17 Falken Wildpeak AT3W all-terrain tires. Why did you go with this tire?
I liked the sidewall, the aggressive pattern on the side as the wheel sticks out. I kind of like the look of it and the tread pattern. Looking at some of the other Tacomas that had those wheels on there, I just really like the look of the tire, like aggressive looking, and paired that up with the rims. I think they pop, makes the truck look completely different. And I get so many compliments on the wheels and where I get them and how the tire itself, but I just think it's just more aggressive looking.
Why did you choose an all-terrain compared to a street tire or even a mud-terrain tire?
I commute about 40 miles to work one way and back, and so in the wintertime here in West Virginia, weather can get bad. There can be snow. I live on a hill, so getting up that hill sometimes can be challenging. So that's why I went with that tire.
How long have you had them? Have you noticed any performance increase with the tires?
I really, to be honest with you, I haven't really noticed anything other than it handles better now. Like the handling around turns is better. Gas mileage is the same. That didn't really change. But yeah, it's got a better ride now with those tires on it, I think.
So with the handling, is it also pretty quiet on the road,
Yes.
even though it's got more of an aggressive tread compared to the stock?
Yeah, and that was something that I was thinking about when I put them on there, but the noise level is the same. I really don't notice anything different.
And why did you go with a 31? Why not anything bigger?
I wanted to stick with something, and again, this is something that, I was reading on your site about. I didn't want to put a lift on it yet, so I thought I could get this tire on, lift it up a little bit without doing anything to the suspension. So I really went with the biggest tire I could based on, some of the information you all had provided, with other truck builds. So I didn't want to mess with the suspension right now on it.
Did you have to do anything to, I guess, recalibrate the truck with the technically a little bit larger tire?
The only thing that I had to do was the TPS sensors. When I took it for its maintenance at the dealership, they just reprogrammed the sensors for me, so it would talk to the computer. So the only issue I had with it was when I put the new tires on, I got a tire warning light on it, but I took it to the factory and they charged me like $25 to reprogram them, so that was it.
Now, is anything with the speedometer, or has it stayed the same?
It's the same, and I haven't really been too scientific about how I checked it other than comparing it to what the GPS says on my phone. I didn't really have another way. I know there's probably more detailed ways to do that, but according to my phone, it's the same as the speedometer.
Now, getting into the suspension a little bit, obviously you have a stock suspension. You told me that suspension really wasn't up your alley at this point. Is there anything that you're looking to do in the future when it comes to your suspension?
I'm thinking about maybe just doing maybe not a 3-inch, but spacers, maybe more or less, just to get an extra inch out of it. But that's something I'm thinking about in the future. Something subtle, a little more subtle, to maybe even lift it up a little more. But that's going to be in the future, I think.
You told me a little bit about the fitment issues when it came to the little bevel, but that was the only fitment issue that you had, and then as soon as you fixed that?
I didn't notice it until you make a real sharp right turn or left turn. I heard a little bit of rubbing going on, so I looked, and like I said, that piece that was molded a certain way on that inner fender well, or that plastic, I literally just took a screwdriver and pushed it in, and it went back inside, and haven't had a problem with it since. So
how do you like the way that it looks with everything combined, wheels, tires, and the stock suspension?
I love it. Putting the wheels and those rims on it totally changed the look of it. When I put the push bar on it, I didn't think it really looked right with the factory wheels. And once I put the factory wheels, it kind of tied everything together. Tied the black and the silver together for me. The windows, I tinted those a little bit. So it's exactly what I wanted.
As a recap here of Adam's build, again, he has the 2021 Tacoma Sport with 17x9-inch Pro Comp 32 Series Bandito flat black 6-lug wheels with a -6mm of offset, which gives the truck an aggressive stance. He has two 65/70 R17 Falken Wildpeak AT3W all-terrain tires, which are equivalent to a 31x10.5, and a stock suspension. Thank you again, Adam, for sharing everything with me, and for more videos just like this, remember to always keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.